Welcome back to another technical video, and today we are taking a look at Uniswap coin. Now, basically, overall, looking at the coin, there is nothing much to talk about, to be honest, because we are far away from the 200 and 100 EMAs on the daily time frame. RSI seems pretty weak right now, and price overall just seems pretty weak. So, what we are going to do, we are going to take usually when there is this kind of messy markets, as not the markets but charts, we usually take the lines in order to determine the support and resistance zone, just to clarify why we took it right now. So this is the first support zone we see, and second support zone I would put closer to this one here, so it would be something like this, like that. So two zones that we are going to keep an eye on right now. Let's go back to the candles, and yeah. So overall, just straightforward, if we break this zone, then we are going to look for some kind of downward movement to the lower zones, of course, here, and the stop loss or the position would be something like this only once we see a further confirmation, and the confirmation would be a breakdown from the zone and some sort of retest. So as soon as we break down, we would already go into a position, but with a small portion. And once we see a retest, successful one, then we would add up to the position. So risk and reward ratio is, I think, 1.5 to wait. Let's narrow it down to this liquidity zone here. So risk and reward ratio should be 1 to 2, I think. Yeah, 1 to 2, 1 to 2.5, 3, something. But this is the scenario we need to see, or we want to see on the Uniswap coin now. In order to see a proper breakdown, we are going to go on the smaller time frames. Let's go on hourly time frame, and we want to see this line actually is pretty accurate here. So we want to see a breakdown from this line here. So a breakdown from here, a retest, and movement to lower zones. Now, if we see a full breakdown here, and if we break lower than this line here, which is very choppy line right now, so lower than this line here, then we are going to then we're going to enter into an immediate market price short position. Now, if we see a steady and slow downward movement, and of course we reach this area here, then of course again we will just enter. But ideal, if we see a slow movement, then we retest here, and this would be an ideal zone for us to go into a short position. So let me remove right now all the Picasso drawings I made here right now. This one as well, I think, like that. Yep. So on the other hand, there is pretty big CME gap, which is halfway filled, but this is not the concern for us right now, thanks to this week here. So this week basically filled the majority of the CME gap, and we don't see any kind of need to go and fill this last part of the CME gap as of now. Maybe sometime in the near future, but not right now. Now, if we zoom out more, we see much bigger CME gap, which is this one here. And this is the target for us if we see any kind of, so let's, this CM gap is actually bigger. It's like this is the top and the bottom is here, so it's closer to the 200 100 EMAs. And if we don't see a breakdown from here and we see some kind of push or buying volume to build up, then of course going to look into some sort of this movement. But this kind of movement will be only optional if we see a proper breakout from here. So we see a buying volume to break out from here, push, retest, and once we see this kind of breakout structures here, which means that buyers are building the volume and building the wall, then we are going to enter into the position. And the risk and reward ratio for this position will be much, much sweeter, because the stop loss will be much more tighter, and I think it will be something like this. Risk and reward ratio should be 1 to 4, maybe. Basically 1 to 5. Let's call it 1 to 5. So this is the long position we seek, and this is the short position we seek. As soon as we break the lower zones here, we're going to enter into a short position. And as soon as we see some kind of buying volume to build up, then we're going to enter into the long position if we see the buying volume to build up. So as of now, there is nothing much to do. Now we have to just keep an eye how market price will react to this zone. If we see any more clear signs, or if we see some sort of movement like this, just in case, if we see a liquidity movement like this, then this would be the first take profit zone. So this line here, this would be our first take profit zone. Once we reach it, we'll move stop loss to the entry, 50% secured and whatsoever. So just as we usually do. So that's it for the Unicoin. Two ways to go. There is no way to enter right now to the market because there is still not so much clarity. So now we need just to wait for a few more confirmations, and two good risk and reward ratio positions can be taken. So as always, thank you for watching again, and see you in the next video.